Oi, you're tuned in to Jai That Aussie Metal Guy, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his sick content. And remember, stay brutal, you legend.
G'day, how you all going? It's Jai That Aussie Metal Guy here with Crank.com for another edition of the Bloody Legends with special guest host Chris Killer Corsby and a pair of amazing guests, true legend Udo Dirkschneider and his son Sven, who are due to release the 1983 masterpiece Balls to the Wall again to celebrate its 40th anniversary. The legendary Udo has reimagined these classic tracks with a powerful new rendition featuring some amazing guest performances with some amazingly influential voices in the metal scene at the moment, including Joakim Brodén, Doro Pesch, and so many more amazing artists. They are kicking off an extensive 32-date European tour 3 days before the release of this on the 28th. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Absolute bloody pleasure.
Okay.
Thanks for having us. Hello.
Yeah, interview is done. He did already everything.
Exactly. Done. We can go.
Exactly. We are done. So, no, I've got tons of questions for you guys.
Okay.
So what inspired you to come back to this, Udo, and kind of redo this, and with the guests that you've got as well?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, it was not planned to do this, re-record the album, and but the idea came up, when we was on some festivals, and a lot of musicians asking, "What you doing? Something special for the 40 years of the Ball to the Wall album?" And we said, "Yeah, the plan is that we do a special tour with this." And then a lot of singers, they came up and said, "Oh, I really would like to sing a song of the Ball to the Wall album. I grew up with this album. That was my favorite album," and so on and on and on. And then, we were sitting down and said, touch the holy cow. The most, album, the best album of except to make a career on all that stuff, And then we said, okay, if we do this with guest singers, that may be a different story, So then we were making up a list. And then Sven can tell you the rest of the story about the guest singers. He was completely involved in that, getting in contact with all the guys. And here we go.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, it
fantastic.
was we came up with a list, and then we, of course, had to see if we can even get a schedule together. That was, I think, the most critical thing about it, because everyone is busy and everyone has their own stuff to do. So we got in touch with a lot of people, and they were totally up for it. I mean, the feedback was amazing. As my dad said, I mean, a lot of people came up to us and they said, I would love to do a version of, let's say, Love Child, or I would do a version of Head Over Heels. And when we sent out the emails and asked people, they were really up for it and they wanted to do it. So it was just a matter of if we can squeeze it all in the time that we had left. I mean, because the tour was already basically in the books. So we had everything planned. So we only had a certain time to get the album done. And it worked out great in the end, but it was a lot of challenges that we have to came across, and in the end it worked out good.
Well, it sounds fantastic. I mean, the vocals and the guitar tones and the drums are just amazing on these new recordings. What was how different was it, especially for you, Udo, going back into the studio to record this sort of stuff after such a long time? Was that a different process for you?
Yeah, I wasn't. I'll be honest. I was nervous, to see I can reach the high notes and all that stuff, But I think in the end it works, and I still can do it, So I mean, we did it already live in South America. We were playing the whole album, and also live it worked. So I'm happy, and I'm really happy with the result,
Yeah,
That's awesome. It sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn straight. And what was that like for you, Sven, coming back in and recording such an iconic album that has played a really significant part in your father's career?
I mean, for me, it's a big honor and opportunity, obviously, to be able to put my touches on this, very influential album by Accept, or the most influential album by Accept. So of course, I mean, I've been playing these songs live for 10 years now. I'm in the band since 10 years in March. So of course I had a good feeling about recording those, but I mean, Stefan Kaufmann, who is the original drummer of Accept, is recording my drums. But you know, it's a different story when you record a UDO album and it's your own material. But certainly, like, or suddenly you're sitting in front of the original who recorded it and who invented a lot of stuff in heavy metal as well, such as Fast as a Shark. And a lot of drummers in the scene are still looking up to him, even though he's not an active drummer since a long time. So I was super nervous, but it was a good and very productive work. I mean, he let me do my thing. I try to, yeah, stay as much or as close as possible to the original, but still, you know, here and there little touches. I mean, you do have your own style of playing, and he let me do what I wanted to do. And he thought it was great that there's a little difference, but not too much that people would say, "Oh God, you changed the whole groove" or whatever. And obviously, I mean, I learned a lot from him over the last couple of years. I had the chance to sit down with him, and he showed me a lot on these little techniques that he has or style of playing that makes the accept groove the accept groove. You know, there's small and little stuff that you have to know and practice if you want to be as close as possible to the original. So I'm very blessed that I have the chance and direct contact to Stefan.
There we go. I got you. I can. So, tell us a little bit about the process of choosing the vocalist. Did you kind of, have an idea of who you wanted for what, or tell us a little bit about that process, kind of, picking which vocalist was going which track, because that one was, they just kind of all elevate the songs as well to kind of another level. You've got the ones where you've released with Joakim from Sabaton, and that Winter Dreams come out 11 days ago with Doro Pesh, which is an amazing film clip, and it was really good to see that one with you guys looking over the photos as well. But what was that process like, picking these artists for each individual track to kind of collaborate with?
I think we had already in our head, who can sing which song.
Yep.
For example, like Biff of Saxon, definitely he was perfect for London Leather Boys. Miller of Creator was definitely perfect for Fight It Back, which is typical Creator screaming and shouting stuff. And Doro, of course, I mean, Doro did a great job on this album. Also, D. Snyder on Losers and Winners. I mean, wow, I mean, he did a great job. And also what you said already, Joakim of Sabaton. For him, it was not so easy, I heard in the end, but he did a great job also. And yeah, I mean, for me, especially also outstanding a little bit is like Losing More You Ever Had with Michael Kiske of Halloween. And I mean, he fits. He did yeah. The sound of what he did is like the sound is like Halloween, but of course, together with my voice, it's yeah, it's still accept, but also can be a Halloween song. And I think yeah, that also Ripper Owens, on the Guardian of the Night. I mean, he did a great job, and yeah, and Sven came up with this more younger guys like Nils Molin and yeah, either Eric, son of Brothers of Metal, Danko Jones, and they did also a great job. I mean, Sven was nearer to these people than I. I mean, I'm really good friends with Ripper, with Doro, with Kiske, with D. Snyder, and all these people, and Biff. I mean, we know each other for a long, long time. It's like in a way that was easy. But Sven came up with a younger generation, and I think that was also a good thing. Maybe you
Yeah, I
can
mean,
say something.
what also was very important for us is that we didn't say, look, please sing the second sentence of
Ah,
the third verse or whatever. So we asked them to perform the whole song because we wanted them to make it their own. You know, that was very, very important for us because otherwise it would have been just a feature now it became a whole new version of each song with different characters. And that was so fascinating about it, because when we had the idea of who could sing what, it all came together very nicely. Like I asked Nils Molin if he would like to be featured on this record, and I think he was very surprised, but he was very happy and honored, obviously, that he gets the chance to do something like this. Plus, Head Over Heels is and was the favorite song of of the Balls to the Wall record. So it all came together very nicely. And usually we had Lizzie Hale planned for Turn Me On, which would have been fantastic as well. But unfortunately, her business plans changed, and of course, there's managements involved and record labels involved. So it's not that easy, because people do say something, about their artists as well, and they have release plans and whatnot. So unfortunately, we had to change plans on Turn Me On, and I came up with the idea of asking Denko Jones, because he has such a unique style of singing, plus his lyrics that he writes are often like pretty cheeky as well. So I thought it's a perfect fit for Turn Me On. And when we sent out the song to him and we got it back, I thought hopefully he did his typical Denko for the opening of the song, and he did it. So yeah, everything came together very naturally, which was amazing and so cool to hear. And when we sat down and listened to a couple of versions, we really thought, okay, London Leather Boys, if you only hear the voice of Biff, that could be a Saxon song. And if you would change the drum beat or fight it back a little bit and make it more thrash metal, it could be a Creator song. It's super awesome. There was a fun process for sure.
And I think also that the whole thing, what we did with the guest singers, I think that made this album in a way special. It's different. It's not just a remake of the Ball to the Wall album. It's like it's different. It's still the Ball to the Wall thing, but different in a different way. And I mean, yeah, that was I think the best thing to do. Otherwise, just re-record the album, that makes no sense. That is like. But now, I'm really happy that we did it in this way, and I'm really happy with the result what we had so far.
That's such a novel approach, I guess, having the guys just go in and do their thing, do the whole song.
Yeah.
How did you go? Did you do your vocals after they'd done theirs and to go on top of theirs, or did you do it separately and have them go over you, or?
No, we sent out Udo's vocal as a guide track, basically. So we finished our recordings from our side, and then we sent out the tracks as basically guide tracks. But they had the chance to listen to Udo. They could say, let's mute him, and I just do my own. And I think a lot of them did even that. They might listen to it and heard what Udo did, but we didn't say the phrasing needs to be exactly on like the original. They should do what they like. Michael Kiske, he wrote me like, but it will sound different, and I'm like, yes, exactly, that's what we want. It's like, please do it with your own voice, your own character, as it was a song of yours, and that makes it very, very special.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really, really dug about this whole album, the guest artists you got, but also the whole sound. Just haven't gone into this going, okay, then, like you mentioned, let's just make a perfect recreation of Balls to the Wall. You've kind of lifted it and elevated, and kind of with these guest artists, you've made it something else as well. You know what I mean? It hasn't kind of interfered with this album and this legacy. You've kind of done something a little bit new, a little bit different as well, but also kind of paying homage to this album, but bringing in these people as well.
I mean, it's not that we thought that we want to do it better, that was not the idea, and that doesn't make sense. But I think the versions that we have right now, also from the sound quality, of course, it's 2025, and it sounds a little different. It sounds a little bit more modern. It sounds a little bit more bigger. It's a little bit more powerful than the original recording, but still with the old school vibes. I mean, when we did the drum recordings, for example, we sat down a whole day trying to get the perfect tuning of the toms and the snare and the bass drums to make it as close as possible, but still more powerful like it should be in 2025, you know. And same with the guitars. It's just a little bit more into your face, but they're still crisp and still what it used to be back in the day, you know. But I mean, obviously it's not possible to recreate exactly that sound, and I think that would have been stupid as well, because obviously what is also cool about it, I think, is that younger generation now has the chance to basically find out about that music, you know, because maybe they see, oh, my favorite artist, I don't know, Denko Jones or Nils or Ilva, they did a feature with Udo Dirkschneider, so I go and check out Udo's music, and then they find out about Accept and Udo and Dirkschneider and whatnot. So they will find an up-to-date version of old songs that are still relevant, up to date, you know.
I mean, it's also like, you know, with Peter. I mean, Peter, he was also nervous when it came to the recording of the album, and he said, okay, what I'm doing, play exactly the bass like it was in '83, or I mean, I played the songs already for over 30 years, and and live I played a little bit different. And then he said, okay, I play it like what I'm doing now for 30 years live, you know, not completely different, but little things are changing. So, and and I mean, also Stefan Kaufmann, I mean, guy is the most critical guy ever in the studio, you know, with everything, with vocals, with drums, guitars, everything. But he was also sitting down with the guitar players, you know, and told him exactly, you know, how they have to, especially the rhythm thing, you know. It's also a little secret of Accept, you know. Yeah, if you sometimes, you know, you listen to a song and think, and as a guitar player, okay, I'm not a guitar player, but I know that it's like, okay, easy playing, you know, and then he start maybe playing, and that, oh, this is not so easy to play, you know. And that's also what Stefan did with our guitar players, you know. He was sitting down and told him, okay, you have to play it like this and this and in this way, you know. I mean, of course, Stefan also, I mean, of course, he was a long time in UDO as a guitar player. I know he's a brilliant one, especially in rhythm guitars. I mean, he's a machine, you know. And on the solos, our guitar players, there was, let's say, more free, but also if it comes to some melodies, they put the melodies in there, but there was also give them the whole, I would say, the freshness on this album, you know. So, I mean, what can I say? I mean, it looked like we did the right thing so far. What I heard from everybody, you know, and everybody's like, wow, that's great, you know.
Damn straight.
Did you find you had any songs? I mean, you've got 10 studio albums. UDO, you've got 19 albums. There's a huge back catalogue of stuff there. Are there any songs that you wanted to put on this album that just didn't work out for you, or someone that you were trying to get, or that you wanted to put on this that just couldn't quite fall into place, or it didn't happen?
You mean of UDO or?
Or what? I mean, obviously with the Accept stuff is probably what you were going for. So
no, I mean, this album is balls, so it's balls. It is what it is. It's only the songs that were on balls are on balls.
So you guys are kicking off the tour 3 days before as well. I think it's like 32 date European tour. How do you keep up? You must be pretty excited to get on the road. We haven't chatted to Sven before. A good time to be launching the album, because that does launch on the 28th through Reigning Phoenix Music. It's going to be an absolutely amazing tour for you guys. Everybody needs to go out, grab tickets for this, grab the album, Balls to the Wall Reloaded. Does drop 28th of February. Everyone stock up on a whole bloody merch on the European tour dates, guys. Do you have any last words, shout outs, thank yous, or anything else you'd like to add in there?
I mean, we hope to come back to Australia as soon as possible. We're already talking about it. And we would love to come back. Hopefully in 2026 we will see each other. And until then, listen to the record. And if you have the chance to fly over to Europe, come over and join the show. It's great.
Okay. That would be great.
Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you very much.
Oi, you know what time it is? You're tuned in listening to Joy That Aussie Metal Guy. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of his content when it drops. And remember, stay brutal, you mad dogs. Roof!